Hi, everybody. This is Jason.
This is Pete.
And this is the Lost Legions podcast. And what are we doing today, Pete?
War engines. That's terrible, isn't it?
That's good enough. Maybe you should do a little horn. There you go.
We're here to talk about all things war engines and why you should take war engines or not take them in some cases, and comparing everything about war engines. So, all things dreadnought, basically, right?
Yeah, I'm wondering if there was a hint in how you feel about them in your entrance. So
I'm coming around some of that. We'll save it for the discussion, okay. Right? So these are the heavy support option choice. This is where you'll typically find them. You can have one. Yep. That's probably one of the big kickers, right? One dreadnought for a whole auxiliary detachment.
Yeah,
one.
Or you can take the prime. I think people are going to take them through their prime slots, right?
Yeah,
you can take the prime slots
benefit.
To take a heavy sport. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Or as we touched on the previous episode, you could have a mortificator who then has his own dreadnought talon option, which allows you to take 3. But
yeah,
there are multiple ways. This is focusing on the unit of the heavy support detachment. So first up, we're going straight into the legacy units. Jay's produced this one. He's going straight out, curveball immediately.
Castra Ferrum dreadnought.
He's obviously going up in size of dreadnoughts here, so spoilers. So Castra Ferrum dreadnought, the old box knot. Do you want to lead the charge on this one, Jay?
So yeah, he is, again, and we see this on all of them, weapon skill and ballistic skill 4. He's also movement 6, so he's a little slower than the rest of them. Only 5 wounds, so strength and toughness 6. Initiative is 3, so he's a little bit slower. But again, we have 3 attacks, actually, which we'll see is actually not the worst out of all of them. Leadership 12, cool of 10, and we see this on all of them. I think they all have the same leadership stats. I think they all have 12, 10, 7 willpower, and 5 intelligence. 2 up, 5 up, which, again, I think goes across almost all of them.
Yeah.
So what we're going to see, and we could talk about, I'll talk to the traits here, and then we won't really touch them because they're all very similar. They have the allegiance, so you can actually, you get traitor or loyalist, but you get your Legion Astartes rules. So your dreadnoughts will vary in effectiveness depending on what kind of dreadnought they are. Iron Hands ones, for example, are -1 strength to range weapons, which is really good.
Yeah. Which is important to touch on because a lot of vehicles don't get that anymore, do they? So if you're looking at like some sort of support unit for your infantry, then dreadnoughts are going to be able to lean into the Legion trait still.
So Smokescreen allows you to do a reaction to get a shrouded save. They all have a version of bulky. He's bulky 5. Some of them have explode. Some of them don't. This guy doesn't. They have implacable advance, and they're all walker types. I think not all of them are heavy, though. I think the Contemptor is not, but we'll get on to that when we get to the Contemptor. Basically, this guy can have all of the options that you think. He can have the power fists. He can have the bolt cannon, auto cannons, plasma cannons. The only thing that's super interesting about him is he has a missile launcher. So if you go to the next page, you have the Gravis missile launcher, which is totally different. None of the other guys get anything like this. So it has its own sort of entry, right? Which might not be amazing, but strength 8, pretty cool. Gets heavy damage, so it can be 2 damage. It's not bad.
2 shots.
It's AP3. 2 shots. Yeah, it's not the worst choice. So, and I believe flip back. I'm gonna see how many points it is. The missile launcher is only 10 points, right? So the real thing that you're getting with this guy is, I think, a fire support dreadnought. I do not think he's fast enough to be a combat dreadnought, nor do I think he's tough enough to be a combat dreadnought. And we'll talk about the toughness of dreadnoughts a little bit more maybe when we get to the Contemptor, which I believe is next. But I think he would be a great cheap fire support dreadnought that sat in the back and shot. My opinion. What about you? What do you think of him, Pete?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he is cheap, right? That's the thing we need to remember here. He isn't that overly awesome, but I think the standout option for rules-wise would be the dual. Can you take 2 ranged weapons, Jay? You can two options from the following list. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he can have double Gravis plasma cannon. for example, which is pretty tasty. That's like the damage 2 one if you overload it and breaching 5. That's like 135 points for 2 big pie plates of plasma. That's pretty good.
And the missile launcher is not terrible either. You can take a missile launcher and a las cannon.
I like the missile launcher. I'd be tempted to do a double missile launcher. You could go flamestorm cannon and a fist, but you're too slow. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he is the keep him at the back of the board guy and just use him as a fire base. I think that's his role here.
It's not like his weapons go ballistic skills any worse than any of the other dreadnoughts, right? So he's slightly not as tough. So I actually think that, he has almost the exact same save as 90% of them. I think he's just a good little, like, turret is what I think he's actually not bad for.
I would argue in playing with Dreadnought so far, like being wounds 5 or wounds 6 or wounds 7 doesn't really make that much of a difference because the high damage weapons are like, take 3 damage, take 2 damage, and it just strips you down. So actually, if you were to go, I want to have a long-ranged double range gun Dreadnought, and you have the same weapon options on a Contemptor, for example, or this, you're not losing much by going for the box knight over the Contemptor.
And he's cheaper, right? Like, so I actually like him.
Yeah, he's like 35 points cheaper, I think. So we'll come on to the others in a moment, but yeah, I think so. I like him. He's cool. Moving on, we have the Contemptor Dreadnought. Yeah. So, do you want me to lead this one, or do you want to?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this one get movement 8, so he's faster than your regular Marines. He's 2 inches faster than the Castra Ferrum. Same stat line. He's +1 toughness and +1 wound, so he does gain a bit there against the other Dreadnought.
He's +1 strength and toughness, so he's 7 strength.
Yeah. He's got an extra attack as well, but the rest of his stat line is the same with all the leadership based stats. And his save and invuln. He does explode, this guy. I don't think the other guy exploded, which is funny. Did he not explode? Let me check. Yeah, no, he didn't. But other than that, he's near enough the same. He's got a similar weapons list, kind of. The main changes here, you got the Volkite culverins, the conversion beam cannon. I think that's the main difference for the range guns. And the Carey's cannon. Whereas the Castra Ferrum gets to have the missile launchers. That's the only thing that the Castra has that the Contemptor doesn't have.
So I mean, if you want the double beam cannon with this guy to sit in back and like pop vehicles, like it's not that bad. But it's also that's 40 points for 2 beam cannons. So you're 190 points, right? So it's like, and as Pete said, what I've seen is anybody who's shooting at these guys, they usually die now with heavy weapons, right? Like even las cannons, like 4 las cannons will just tear this guy down if he doesn't make any of his saves. And I've seen it happen.
It's pretty intense. I've used one of these as a Gravis plasma cannon, and it's really effective. It's a little boring though, to be honest. Because it's a Dreadnought. He's a Contemptor. You want him to be like munching around and stuff. They do get some other weapon options, so he can smack a Havoc launcher on his head. I don't think the Castra Ferrum can do that. So again, long and short of it, through the army list, if you see a Havoc launcher that you can chuck on, I think sadly you're going to be wise to just chuck it on because it's a status effect for 5 points.
Yeah.
Which I don't like.
Especially if you have a plasma. Like, as you're shooting at troops anyway, right?
Yeah,
so you're
exactly.
not anti-tank.
Exactly. I think Havoc launcher should be 10 points. I think then it's not an auto, like, oh, yeah, I'll just spank 5 points for that. Anyway, as a side note, I actually really want to try a combat version of this to deal with armor, actually, to like intercept charging Land Raiders and Spartans. I think we're going to...
You and I were talking about this, and like I actually kind of feel like, because we've both used Contemptors a few times, and every time I've used them, they've just gone up in 1 or 2 turns. I almost feel like your point of a double fist like one running in is going to be put more pressure on stuff than the ones that are fire support in the back line. Like they just really do not seem as tough with the multiple damage weapons now.
Yeah, I really think so. I think you could go, dual chain fist, maybe melts in your fists if you really want to. You can mess around with stuff in your fist, but even if you just go dual chain fist, you're 160 points, and you should tear a Spartan in half the minute you charge it. Just with the sheer volume of damage that they output. And then they're good at other things as well. Then you can just munch other units in the midfield. It almost uses it as a speed bump for an incoming big nasty tank filled with nasty men.
I think the other thing is that your combi bolters though now have 8 shots. So if you just took combi bolters, you want to keep this guy cheap. Give him a fist and a chain fist and chuck him down the middle of the field. Like
he's and toss a havoc launcher on his head so he can still do stuff at a lot of range as well. Yeah.
He's going to be under 200 points. He's going to be what? Like that's 10.
165.
165. Yeah.
Cheap.
He's going to be 165. You're going to run him down the middle of the field and they're going to have to deal with him. And it's kind of an interesting way to deal with him, right? Like I think he also has 8 shots. That's what I mean. Because of from the combi bolters. Yeah. So he actually has a decent amount of firepower for one model. I think the other way to have this guy is have him have 2 weapons and stick him way in the back, like either plasma cannons or las cannons or the conversion beamers. But like, just know if somebody turns their anti-tank on you, you're probably gonna blow up.
Yeah, it's just worth mentioning as well because I think it's one that I'd like to try but haven't yet. Because I don't think you see it in many other places in the army list, if at all. Is the Gravis autocannon. Have you looked at that at all, Jay, or not really?
Mm-mm.
So that's a 3-shot autocannon. It's strength 8 rather than strength 7. It's damage 2 just as before, breaching 6 up, and it gets the heavy firepower rule. So you could have like 4 shots per arm if you upgraded both of them.
I actually have these. I actually have, for my Space Wolf Contemptor, have 2 of these arms because they didn't. I used them as anti-air in 1.0.
Yeah,
so actually, kind of excited about that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see. So it's a decent amount of shots. You can still put status effects on Land Raiders and stuff, at least that way. You've got the breaching there. It's 2 damage per shot. I don't think it's a crazily bad idea. But yeah, just a thought. Moving on. You ready to move on?
Yeah.
The Deredeo dreadnought.
So again, this guy has a very similar stat line. His strength has dropped down to 6. His attacks have dropped down to 2. But he has the 6 wounds. He's a 7 toughness. He is decent. I don't know. You have the Anvilus autocannon battery. You can upgrade that to Hellfire plasma cannonade, the las cannon battery, or the Volkite falconet. So I think the problem here is not necessarily his weapons. I think his weapons are actually better than the Contemptor if you want to fire support dreadnought. They're actually pretty good. The Alias missile launcher is not bad either. I don't really think you need the anti-air missiles, but I could be wrong. Let's see how often we get flyers coming in. But I think the real problem with this guy, I think he's actually pretty deadly. Like especially the las cannons.
Las cannon. I was just looking them up. They seem 4 damage. They seem pretty good. Yeah,
really, really like decent. The problem is, again, like someone turns their anti-tank on you, and you're gonna have issues. But I think that the las cannon battery might be worth it. Again, like I have to play with them a little bit more to see, right? Because at that point, he's 215 points. I lean on the fact that tanks might end up being tougher for the same role. Barring your Legion, like maybe a Raven Guard, one of these would be okay because again, people are snap firing at him. But I mean, the Hell Cannon plasma cannonade, I don't know if that again is worth it because again, you're going to have to close with them because I believe it's 36 inches, even though it has decent stats.
Yeah, it's got a breaching 4 up,
which is
damage
good.
2 over maximal 5.
What's the range on them?
36.
Yeah. See, I mean, like as you start getting this close, people are starting to get close, and it's just I don't know. It's not. None of these are good. Like, if you want to fire support dreadnought, I would say, okay. So this is the difference. I would actually say that now Contemptors are way better as just pure melee, and the Deredeos are now the way better fire support dreadnoughts. So I'm actually leaning into them. Actually, even talking about this with you right now, I'm actually liking them more and more. I'm thinking that if I'm going to get any fire support dreadnought, rules wise, it's a Deredeo. I like the boat fronts. Not everyone does, but what do you think?
I actually think I disagree a little bit. I think.
Okay.
So I'm just looking here, and it's only it's interesting because I'm doing a deep dive comparison between him and the Contemptor, because he's 40 points more than the Contemptor, right?
Yeah, but he's got better guns.
Yeah. But, well, he does, yeah. But, I mean, for the 40 points, you can get the Contemptors to have equally as good guns, right? So the...
I don't agree, but go ahead. Yeah,
so the las cannon option is better than the las cannon option for... So what does a Contemptor get? So the question I'm going to ask and pose is, or the problem I see is this cannot one-shot a Spartan. And when I say one-shot, it cannot open up its arsenal and kill a Spartan.
No, it can't.
Which is something. So the Contemptor gets what? Let's just take a look at this. So it gets a twin las cannon.
A twin las cannon is going to do max 4 damage, right? If it doesn't move. Because they do 1 damage.
1 damage, 2 shots, heavy D, and they can have 2 on each arm. So he can put out.
I guess.
He can put out 8 damage points, right? But the point was going to allude to here is there is at least a build you can do for a Contemptor that can kill a Spartan at range, and that's going to be the multi-melters, right? So you have options within the Contemptor build to actually gun down a huge heavy tank. Yes, you're going to have to get close to it, but you can do it with that model. You can't do that with the Deredeo. And
so you're thinking the double Melta Contemptor again, like, is slightly valuable.
I think it's just the option of, can you take out that tank? You at least have the option of it within the Contemptor range, because they get what, Gravis melta guns, is it?
Yeah. What is the? We're just flipping back and forth looking at this. Gravis melta is melta 8 is the problem, right? So you can take out a Contemptor, but your range strength is 9.
Yeah.
So you're going to need a 5 on the roll, right? Because you need to meet 14, and
yeah, you do get heavy range strength if you've stayed still. I know we're talking now about specifics, but yeah, you have the option there. What I'm trying to get at is there is a chance it can do it, whereas the Deredeo cannannot do that. I
mean, I guess good point. I think this is a good discussion
in it, but it's just looking at it. I've never actually.
No, this is a good discussion.
The plasma as well. Sorry,
I think I'm just down on Contemptors, right? From every time I've used one in almost every game. They've just been like insta detonations.
Yeah.
Like, they've gone back and forth. They usually trade fire with each other. I took out a Leviathan who took me out with return fire with multi-meltas. So like they've just died. So I'm just kind of looking at the Deredeos and going like, oh, you have good long range weapons. But I think you're right. I think the same thing. Like, I think a double Melta Contemptor could take out a Spartan, while the Deredeo is not going to be able to. He's just going to be slaughtering anything that's armor 13.
Yeah, and then you're looking at the Hellfire Plasma Cannonade. That's what it's called, isn't it? Versus the Gravis.
Are we back on the Deredeo? You want to switch back to the Deredeo?
The Plasma Cannon is a good old large blast, but it's just one shot from the Deredeo. Whereas if you're building a Contemptor of the same way, you've got 2 large blasts with the Contemptor. All right, you're breaching 5 up with the Gravis Plasma Cannon compared to breaching 4 up with the Hellfire Plasma Cannonade. But I'd much rather 2 pie plates rather than 1, for the sake of the 1 difference on the breaching.
I think big problem here is this guy really suffers from not having BS5, especially because
that's what he needs. You're right. He needs something like that. He needs some other special rule that makes him pop.
You've talked me around, but I think that if he had a BS5, he'd be really, really good.
If I'm honest, the Volkite Falconet is probably the way I would go because he's got the twin heavy bolters in him, so that's given him a load of anti-infantry shots. The Volkite, what do we call it? The Volkite Falconet is range 45, 10 shots, strength 7, AP 5, so he can still slap medium armor. Deflagrate 7, pinning 2. So you got these 10 deflag shots with a pinning 2. I think you just lean into him being an infantry killer is probably where I would go with him. But
I think the Alios pistols are three shots, AP3 2, so ignores line of sight. So I mean, yeah, you've kind of talked me around.
You got 6 shots on the twin bolter, so he's got 16 shots, and then the missile weapon is
the Anvilus autocannon's not horrible either, though. That's his base stat. That is
it's like a long range Leviathan one, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it's 48, firepower 6, so it's 6 shots, range strength 8, AP 4, 2 damage, which is really good, breaching 5 up, rapid tracking, skyfire. So he can also shoot down any things that come in. I mean, it's not terrible, but then again, you're paying 190 points for him with the missiles and the.
So the Alos is just a small blast, but it gets heavy firepower. So it's you got I think if I was going to build one, and I'll get one eventually. I think I'd go Volkite Falconet because then you've got 6 heavy bolt shots, 10 Volkite shots, and 2 small blasts off his hood, right? And he's 190 points like that. I think that's the way I would go for him. But yeah, let us know, guys. We've had a bit of a deep dive there on Deredeo, so let us know if you think he's any good, if we're missing something that's staring us blatantly in the face that we're ignoring here.
Oh, it's AP4. The ALS missile launcher is AP4.
Yeah,
not
so
AP3.
the ALS is not great anymore at all. It used to be much better.
Yeah, I thought it was AP3.
Yeah, he's kind of been nerfed with the way that tanks now work and all the hull points and not being able to one-shot stuff. So,
meh. Okay.
Yeah.
You've talked me down on him.
He's not cool. I love him though. He looks. I actually quite like the ship front as well. But yeah.
Well, let's move on to the next disappointment. I mean, the next one.
Yeah, I got 3 of these fuckers, so I'm really bummed with these. Leviathan Dread. So he's movement 6. So he's as slow as a Castra Ferrum. A lot tougher though. So he's strength and toughness 8, 7 wounds. Same stat line from there on out, near enough. 4 attacks as well. This guy, I don't know what to do with this guy. I think there's only one way really. So I'll go through it. So he's got 2 heavy flamers. He then gets a whole list of different guns he can take. So he can take the storm cannons, which are good for taking out sort of medium targets. But they've been the number of shots has gone down quite a bit, and the gun's gotten worse from the previous edition. The Grav Flux Bombard. I mean, just look at the Grav rules, and like you compare it to the other Grav guns, and for some reason this is AP4, not AP3. I just don't. And it's only 1 damage. It doesn't do as much. I mean, it's a large blast. It's range 18. It's like
the problem with the Cyclonic Melta Lance is it's range 12.
Yeah,
and it's just this thing is so freaking slow. Like it can't run because it's heavy. So like it's just never gonna get there. I mean, and its Melta range is 8. So like that's where you really want to be. And it's not like it's fast enough to deliver this thing. So I mean the range on this thing is just the weapons are not great anymore. And it's just so slow. The Phosphex discharger is great, but like again, like you got to get there to use it, right? Like I
think that leads us into what I think he's actually built for is close combat. I think he is actually the close combat king of the dreadnought options, but you got to get him there, and the only way you're going to get him there is with a dreadnought drop pod. So I think you You want to take one of these. You want to dump it in the opponent's line. I know you can't assault when you come down, but you kind of want to be like, right, you have to deal with this or be chomped to pieces, right?
I'd say the only problem with this now is that people can deal with it, though, because he's got 7 wounds and 8 toughness. I mean, yeah, he's considerably tougher, but like I've detonated these things now, like with the Storm Eagle. Like it's kind of like vehicles and dreadnoughts have kind of switched positions. Like now dreadnoughts will detonate and vehicles are a lot tougher. It's interesting. They've like completely flip-flopped. I in general still like dreadnoughts. I think they're a little too expensive now. Is
They've
my
come
real
down in
TDR
points as well, right? So yeah, I agree, but yeah.
Because they're also limited. You can't take a bunch of them anymore. They're harder to get in your list. They're not worthless, but like they're definitely like you don't need 3 of them. Like one of them could do a threat, but you should have a specific job for it. They're not generalists anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Leviathan's very good. I think he might be the worst one out of them all.
He's got no range on his guns, and he's too slow. Yeah, I think that's it. I think trying to get him into combat. I mean, I'm just looking at his combat weapons. They're not like anything super crazy either. Like it's +4 strength, so he goes up to strength 12. Gets armor bane, but he gets no shred. He gets 4 damage on a pair of Leviathan drills.
AP2?
AP2.
Yeah, okay.
+4 strength.
I mean, he's fine.
Yeah.
He's not. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not impressed with them anymore. I don't think they're not overly tough. They're not. I mean, when you're firing anti-tank weapons at them, right? Like they are.
Just for context, sorry. So like a paired Leviathan siege drills are +4 strength, AP2, damage 4, armor bane. Paired Gravis chain fists, so this would be on a Contemptor, are +4 strength, but he's 1 strength less. AP2, damage 4, so exactly the same, armor bane, and it has shred 6 up, so you're going to get an extra damage point. So like,
and you're a lot faster, and you can run,
and you're a lot cheaper. Like.
Yeah. And you're not that much like as like if this thing had a 4 invulnerable save, maybe, right? If it gave it the 4 invulnerable save back. But like the way it is, it's that 2 up, 5 up. You have 7 wounds, so you have 1 more wound and 1 more toughness, and it just doesn't seem to really matter from what I've seen.
No, agreed. Maybe a White Scars one.
There you go. There you go. 100%.
Contemptor's movement 10. Oh my. Yeah, moving on. The party piece. The
Saturnine Dreadnought.
Here he is.
I do not know how I feel about this guy. I will have to pick him apart as we go through this. He is weapon skill, ballistic skill 4. He's strength and toughness 8, wounds 8, initiative 3, attacks 2, leadership 12, cool 10, willpower 7, intelligence 5, 2 up, 4+, and
4
that's where
huge on this.
Yeah, this is where I think he becomes a lot better. He's definitely supposed to be a fire support one. I don't think we're going to see a claw on him. I actually thought we were going to, but then when I saw that 2 attacks, I was like, meh. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess you could have a claw with bonus attacks the way it works now, but I was like, oh, we're definitely not seeing a claw on him soon. He is a fire support dreadnought. He comes with a disintegrator cannon and a plasma bombard. This is how you see him in the package. He's got 2 photonic incinerators, which I think are a type of flamer. And then the thermal diffraction grid, which is the same thing we talked about with the Saturnine Terminators. It's -1 strength from, was it Plasma, Laz, and
Melter and Volca? I think Volca. I think it's 4 weapons for sure.
So it is decent, right? Especially combined with his 4 vulnerable save and his 8 toughness. So, I mean, again, I would say toughness-wise, this guy is going to be a lot better than the rest of them. I think that with the 4-up invulnerable save and the thermal diffraction grid, and then flavor your Legion traits, right? Like, because again, you're standing in back through Raven Guard, they're snapping at you. Iron Hands ones, another -1 strength. There are a lot of bonuses, I think. Like with some of them, I think will be a lot better than other ones. I think Pete is right now just taking a peek at the weapons.
I'm just trying to find photonic incinerators, but I can't find them, so I'll come back to that when I can.
Well, I have the disintegrator cannon, so we'll pick them out as we go through and we'll talk about them.
Yeah.
Is range 24, which is not great for this guy because he's going to be standing in back. Range strength 9, AP 2, damage 3, overload 2. Again, like this overload 2 thing. I just don't like disintegrator weapons. And yeah, it's the disintegrator cannon. The plasma bombard was
range 36, I think.
And it's the better version. I think there's the little one that the Saturnine Terminators have. So this is this the heavy plasma bombard? Or just say plasma bombard? Oh, that might just be because we wrote this. So I think it's the heavy plasma bombard. So this is range 36, blast 5, barrage 1, breaching 6 up, and then the overload version is breaching 5 up. But again, the maximal fire version is overload 2 and not overload 1.
Yeah.
So I just don't love overload 2 for this. Like I feel like just a normal plasma cannon is better. So we go back to the Contemptor, where I feel like you're getting a better deal with overload 1 on the plasma cannon.
Yeah.
And you have and that you have 2 5-up blasts that can be breaching 5 up with just a normal plasma cannon. So like I don't rate these weapons. I don't think they're that good. I also don't think he's fast enough to like get in there and fire them. Not impressed.
Yeah.
So far, I don't really like those weapons.
I like the inversion beamer. I think it's pretty cool.
I was just going to say, go ahead and fire off the next one that you see.
So it's maximum range 30, and from 15 to 30, it's one shot, strength 7, AP3, sorry, damage 2, large blast with heavy range strength. But if you use it sub 15, and I think you kind of use this as a marching up with your infantry, gunning some elite infantry as you swarm.
Yeah, you're going to have to, I think.
Yeah, he's then range strength 8, AP 2, damage 3, heavy range strength, blast 5. So it's obviously a backwards conversion beamer, right?
I have the Graviton Pulverizer if you want me to go through that.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
So that's range strength range 18, which is not great unless you're using them kind of how Pete suggested as walking up as a fire support dreadnought. Range strength 9, which is really good. AP 3, which is decent. And damage 3, which is great, right? So it's also heavy damage, so you can go up to 4 damage. Blast 3 inches, breaching 6 up, shock, pinning, and pinning 3. So like
that's a good anti-vehicle weapon.
And also against troops, you can shoot them and pin them.
Yeah, maybe the Graviton dual Graviton Pulverizer might be.
It's only range 18, man. And I think that if you get close enough, this thing, you can lock it in hand-to-hand combat. It's got, 2 attacks? So you're just going to run up
really
and you're going to be like, hi, I'm attack squad. I'll be here for the next 4 turns. Like, it doesn't. Go ahead.
Yes, no, you're right. So you're right. It doesn't work like that. So maybe dual plasma bombard and just use them as an artillery knot and just shell an objective over for the whole game. But it's so dull for like such a centerpiece model. You want your dreadnoughts to be. They are superhero models, aren't they? Essentially, they are like, I am this elite. I'm going in. It's not a bloody basilisk sat in the back just shelling something to death.
Have we found the upgrades for the photonic incinerators?
I can't find what the photonic incinerators are. Oh, there is. Found it. It's a template. It's range strength 6. Sorry, AP 4, damage 1, template panic 2.
It's basically a flamer.
So you've got 2 of those. Yeah, 2 of those with panic 2. It's like an upgraded heavy flamer, and the concussive resonator. The heavy particle shredder, I think, is the one that I quite like, which is strength 6, AP 3, damage 2, breaching 6+.
What is this under? What is it? Oh,
particle weapons. He's got two of those, which is pretty cool. So they're great at mowing troops.
Yeah, they're actually pretty cool.
But you don't want him mowing troops. That's the point with this guy.
No, you do. You don't want him this close, especially because they're going to then charge him.
And
right?
He does have the assault rule though there, so that is pretty cool. He will just murder people on Overwatch.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool for the particle shredder. Actually, that's not a bad shout for the particle shredders because he can snap. He can volley fire them.
Yeah,
right?
I kind of feel like you have to take those particle shredders. The other option is the concussive resonator, which is 2 shots. So he's got 2 concussive resonators. So it's 6. So it's 4 template shots. Range strength 6, AP 5, damage 1, overload 1, stun 2.
And then what is that under?
Sonic weapons.
Sonic weapons. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like the heavy particle.
I think you need to go heavy particle shredders to have some, basically some like point defense, right, for him.
I'm not impressed with his weapons. I don't. His stat line's cool. If I could give this dude 2 normal plasma cannon arms, I'd be like, cool. Like if I could give him, I'd like a Gravis las cannon with him to put him in the back. I don't like his weapons. I don't think they're super great. Maybe I'm wrong about the disintegrator cannon. I just flinch about the Overload 2. I really don't like Overload 2. And tell me if you guys find it differently, because I actually will find it heartening if you guys are finding this different and I'm wrong about it. I want to be talked into it, right? Because I also love the way the disintegrator cannon looks. I mean, it's 24 inches, strength 9, AP 2, damage 3, overload 2. It just doesn't really spark any joy on me. Like, there's no special thing that you get for the fact that it's overload 2.
The thing that we're missing here is this guy is incredibly tough, actually. And I've not played against one yet. I don't think you have you?
No.
And it's a T8. Bolters literally can't hurt it. The thermal diffraction field is going to be really good for salamanders and iron hands in particular.
Yeah.
Will it stack with iron hands? I guess it.
Yeah. Why not? Well, your range strength of the weapon is -1.
Oh yeah. So then if
it'll be -2.
It's like las cannons are strength 7 against you. So the las cannons are wounding you on 5s, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not salamanders. It won't matter as much because you'd have to be wounding them on 2s for it to matter.
Yes. So iron hands in particular. Then you got a 4-up invuln and you got 8 wounds. He's pretty damn tough. But you're right. The best thing to do against this guy is to just lock him in combat because he's not killing. Yeah. He's not winning combat. A 10-man tactical.
That's why I think those two heavy particle shredders are actually really good.
Yeah, you have to take them. I think really, but he is tough, which means then I would probably go double graviton pulverizer, heavy particle shredders. Thinking about it, that's what I would do. So he can mow down light troops. He can do loads of damage to vehicles with his strength 9 grav and put pinning on the vehicles.
I think you might be right, which is hilarious.
Just march him up the middle.
You're going to want him 18 inches away from things. So, exactly.
He's not shooting turn 1, is he, really? So he's losing a turn shooting with him.
Graviton Pulverizer is, free? So, I mean, yeah, I guess you're 340, and then, so you think 350? I can't see him being as good as a Kratos for the same points.
No.
So, I mean, this is the problem I'm running into with dreadnoughts. I'd
say he's nearly as survivable though, maybe even more survivable because he's got an invuln.
He is very survivable.
4-up invuln. It's pretty decent.
I think that crosses the threshold. It's that 8 toughness with the 4-up invuln plus the thermal diffraction field. I mean, so this is where again I think you're going to see him surviving a lot. I think the thermal diffraction field is actually the unsung hero here. But so he's not gonna die very fast, but he's also vulnerable to get locked in combat. I don't know. I give him a toss-up. So you've talked me around. My favorite is the first one is the Castra Ferrum dreadnought. Is Castra Ferrum? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's cheap. He's cheerful. He has the same ballistic skill, and he has the same weapons for the most part as the Contemptor. My second favorite is the Contemptor, who works as either a fire support or a close combat version. The Deredeo, you've talked me around on the weapons, which are okay, but he's more expensive for what you're getting than the Contemptor. And the last guy, the Saturnine, is just really expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think he is a bit. And he can't have a combat arm. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So he wants to keep people at close to medium range, doesn't he?
I think so. I think you had a combat arm on that guy with like +2 attacks on it, so you ended up with 4 attacks. I think it'd be amazing because then you could give him the flamers, you could give him the graviton shredder, you could give him. He'd be pinning people. He'd walking up. They get in close combat with him. He'd slap them with his claw. I mean, I think that guy just needs a claw, and he'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But we'll see what he comes. What do you think? What's your? I feel down, and usually we're not down on things. This is I think the most down I've felt has been this. So I apologize, guys. Usually, guys, I'm usually pretty cheerful on stuff.
I think he's all right. I think, can you Overwatch with all weapons if you're a walker? Do you gain implacable advance for being a walker?
I don't.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you do. I think they have implacable advance if they have implacable advance.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. Compare. Oh, yeah, because like a Contemptor has implacable advance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if you can Overwatch with your big guns as well, then he goes up in usability again because he's ultimately, he's able to keep off attackers better again. Yeah, I think dreadnoughts are cool. I think they're cool in general, but I think there are some real big sticking points, and there are some which clearly shine better than others. Down on it, they were a problem in the last edition, right? They needed to change.
Yeah,
and I think that's the problem with multi-wound, high toughness models is they can very easily tip the scale. We're looking at the Saturnine and thinking he's pretty damn tough. And then we're looking at the Leviathan and saying he's trash. And there's
close.
There's a couple points in it. So in terms of characteristics, so
and I think
that's
I
always been
said
the problem with high toughness, high wound models. I think
I said the Iron Hands Leviathan might be a lot better for that very reason, right?
Yeah.
Because he's gonna be so much harder to wound.
No, I agree. Cool, man. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it.
Let us know why we're wrong. Tell us why you're really excited for Dreadnoughts and what you're building. We'll catch you in the next one.
Bye, guys.